Good afternoon. Welcome to the Board of Health meeting of May 6th. Please note this meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. Anyone else is recording this meeting, please notify the chairman. Pursuant to Governor Healy's March 29th, 2023 signing of the Acts of 2023 extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state emergency, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, this meeting of the Chatham Board of Health is being conducted in person and via remote participation. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 1-508-945-4410, the conference ID number 184-555-438#, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Chatham TV, Channel 8 and 1072, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide real-time access. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. Now I'll turn the meeting over to our chairman, Dr. Noble Hanson.
Thank you. It shall be the policy of this board to conduct its meetings under the open meetings law so as to encourage public participation whenever time permits and as part of agenda item discussions. So we have two things on the agenda tonight, but first we'll establish a quorum, and when I call your name, please say present. Carol Boyce.
Present.
John Beckley.
Present.
Dick Edwards.
Present.
Noble Hanson, I am present. So we have a quorum. And first on the agenda is a variance hearing from Real Estate Inspection Regulation for David Parish, 82 Kent Road. And I'm not sure who's presenting the case.
I don't believe anybody's going to be here for this one.
Okay.
They called, they were passing papers, it's a cash deal, or no, there's no lawyers involved. He's tearing down the house and rebuilding, so they just felt like they could just go through and not have to have the variance in writing from the board, but I said, well, the regulations say that you need a variance. So I just included it on the agenda. It's pretty straightforward. They're supposed to put a new septic system within 90 days of transfer of property, but they are planning on demolishing.
This is a cesspool, so.
It's a cesspool, yep. They're transferring the property without that upgrade, and they're going to demolish and rebuild the house, and that will obviously include a new septic system.
So has this property already transferred?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think it probably has, or the real estate agent did call me, and they did have, it may not have closed yet, it may be this week, but she said she didn't believe that the buyer was going to attend, and
then part of the agreement would be that you get in writing a statement from the new owner that the property will remain vacant until the new system is installed.
this letter that you have in your packet, to whom it may concern, it will purchase the property at 82 Kent, will be
there it is.
demolishing.
Right there.
So he's basically already agreed in writing.
Right. David Parrish, the home will not be lived at any point between my closing on the property and demolition. Okay, so we have that in writing. So are there questions on this variance request from Real Estate Inspection? And then any input from the public?
I see none.
And does somebody want to make a motion? It seems pretty straightforward. It's going to be.
I move that we approve the variance with the provision that that the new house cannot be occupied until it has an adequate septic system, which is inspected.
In a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have that. And then maybe Judy can read the conditions.
The new septic system is to be installed within 1 year from the date of transfer, or the owner must return to the Board of Health for an extension of the variance, and the property is to remain vacant until a new system is installed.
And improved and approved.
Right.
All right. And
is
we are,
approved
then we have the letter from the owner.
and installed.
Okay, I think we can probably take a voice vote on this. All in favor of granting the variance at 82 Kent Road, say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, say nay. So none opposed, so that variance is granted to 82 Kent Road. All right, next on the agenda is a variance hearing and approval of IA Technology for Diane Kennedy Revocable Trust, 88 Fox Hill Road, Speakman Excavating LLC. And
I believe we have Dave Mason on the line.
Dave Mason, I think, is the engineer, yeah?
Yes.
That is correct, I am here.
Well, can you sort of present the case for us, the request?
Yes, sir. The property is currently is a 4-bedroom and thus requiring per the requirements, an IA system. And due to the condition of the existing leaching, a new leaching is proposed also for the property.
Okay, so, yeah, we have the floor plans of the property, and so there's no changes to the property. This is a request simply to go from Title V to IA Technology to allow 4 bedrooms, which,
That is correct.
and the,
Which is only 3 official bedrooms right now,
yeah, I mean.
Correct.
According to the record here, the 4th bedroom was,
illegal.
in the basement, was placed without permits.
All right.
I've got a
so,
question. Are there
questions?
any penalties or fines for illegally finishing a basement
The
bedroom?
building department will, and one of my conditions would be that they get an after-the-fact building permit on this, and they do charge them more money than a normal building
Okay.
permit. But that they'll do is go in and make sure that it meets all the fire safety and, the requirements of the building code.
But there is a little financial disincentive
I believe there is, yeah, but it's,
otherwise.
not too much we can do.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
It appears that on the first floor, there's already 4 bedrooms. There's a room that they've got labeled, what, a study room or sitting?
Sitting room.
Sitting room,
Yeah, that
That
room,
meets
yeah.
the definition of a bedroom.
It has pocket doors,
right.
so it does have privacy. It meets all the criteria for a bedroom, and we would not allow this if it went before us.
looks like a
So
swinging
this
door,
is
right?
now, they're asking for a 5-bedroom house, the
Exactly.
way it's designed. So they would have to remove those pocket doors, and these plans we have don't have any dimensions on them about the size of that pocket door. It would have to be at least a 6-foot cased opening with no provision for closing it off,
Right.
in order that it not be considered a bedroom.
Yeah, we could make them take the pocket doors
Right.
off.
And then the second
The
issue is,
French
it's a
doors.
30,300 square foot lot, which only allows 3 bedrooms. So to add a 4th bedroom with IA Technology would require, to my knowledge, a deed provision stating that this house cannot be used as a short-term rental. And it appears the way this is designed, it's designed to be a rental, because there's no way to get to that basement bedroom without either walking through the cellar or coming in from the street.
I think our regulations said for the 2 bedrooms going to, on a 10,000, less than 30,000 square foot lot, that we would require it not be allowed to be remember we had the whole
Or
discussion?
any additional bedroom, any
I don't know
request.
if we went there.
Well,
Well,
I mean, obviously, if the board wants to do that, they can, but I don't think in our regulations, we didn't specify that. It was more for the 2 bedrooms on a 10,000 square foot or greater lot, less than 30,000.
well, the whole idea was if people are adding additional bedrooms with IA Technology, they can't rent those bedrooms. So
I'm not sure
You
what
know,
the,
we have an absolute prohibition against going to 4 bedrooms, if you've already got 3, and so.
I mean, I think
if we're
last
gonna-
week we allowed that and we didn't require a short,
It does say that any existing properties that already exceed the requirements
right,
will not be allowed an extra bedroom.
without an IA technology.
No, with or without. We're not adding an extra bed, if a house
Oh,
already has
right,
3
right, I'm
bedrooms,
sorry,
we're
you're
not
right.
gonna allow a 4th.
But this doesn't-
They're asking us for that here.
Right, they don't, it doesn't exceed it
And so
now
they're asking
technically.
us to say, okay, since it's already there, let's bypass our rule that you can't add a 4th bedroom. And, yeah, you know, if we are gonna do that, then the least we can do is say that they can't rent it.
It is referring maybe to the 2-bedroom. I think
Yeah.
it does say may, so it's sort of within our discretion. But let me ask Mr. Mason just for some help here. And you're the engineer, but would adding a restriction for no short-term rentals, would that be something that the owners would have a problem with?
I would have to verify that with the owners. That's not something that was discussed. I mean, if we could put it on there as a requirement to go forward, if it's going in the direction of approving it, and then they can decide what to do with it after that. But I'm not in a position to provide an answer relative to some use that I'm unaware of whether they're using it in that way or not. I have no understanding, no knowledge of their intentions. Let's put it that way.
But how would that have any impact on our decisions?
Well, it
The
doesn't-
deed restriction goes for all eternity, for all future owners also of the property. To say, well, you know, if the owner doesn't want us to do it, then we're not gonna do it, that
No, I think it just
doesn't make
weighs
a whole lot
into
of sense.
our discretion of what we might want to do. But the interpretation of it, I'm not.
Yeah, no, our regs say that for residential application, the board may allow by variance 1 additional bedroom over the number allowed with the use of an IA technology in accordance with our rules, unless it's in a nitrogen-sensitive area, which it's not. And then it says, existing properties that already exceed the requirements, which this is for,
It's technically,
well, it's technically a 3-bedroom. They're asking for the 4th bedroom. They have an illegal bedroom. They're not asking for a 5th bedroom, they're asking for a 4th. So it's a.
They have an apartment. That's not just a bedroom. That's an apartment.
But that's not, we look at just bedrooms, and we can't,
But it's a
zoning,
single-family.
zoning is a different thing. They're the ones that look at apartments.
What single-family residence in a single-family neighborhood, and they've got an apartment, not just an illegal bedroom, they have an
Right,
illegal
but we're
apartment.
not looking at illegal apartments,
where's the floor plan for the basement?
It came, it's here.
It was added on,
It wasn't included in the packet, so it's here.
Can I borrow this
the
one?
second piece there.
So we would be able to approve the 4th bedroom with IA. And then it goes on to say, notwithstanding that 2-bedroom properties on lots greater than 10,000 may be allowed a 3rd bedroom upon review by the board in accordance with the variance section, and may be required conditions as defined by the board, including deed restricting the use of the property to owner occupied.
What section are you in the new code?
Section 6.2.
6.2, okay. So we recently revised
This
this.
is what you just approved
Right.
2 meetings ago. So officially, this is only approved for 3 bedrooms. They want to get the official 4th bedroom, which is there illegally now, technically. So that's what they're asking for. They're on a 30,000 square foot lot with IA. Our regulations say if the Board of Health approves, they can have the 4th bedroom.
So if they did not have the 4th bedroom now, forget that they have it. If they just have 3 bedrooms on a 30,000 square foot lot, and they want a 4th bedroom, we would give them that
Yes.
without a deed restriction.
No, we would require,
No.
That's the
I'm-
question.
that's the
Right.
They don't get rewarded for having an
They would have to
illegally.
deed restrict the house to 4 bedrooms, but we wouldn't
Restricted
require
with
them
regard to-
short-term rental. We have not in the
If
past.
it had 4 bedrooms on 30,300, and they were requesting a 5th bedroom, we can't give it,
We wouldn't, right.
can't give anybody an extra bedroom. If it's 2 bedrooms, on a 20,000 square, on a 18,000 square foot lot, and they want a 3rd bedroom, we would give it to them with a restriction regarding short-term rentals.
Correct.
So as it stands right now, we're not giving anybody an extra bedroom if they already have more bedrooms than are allowed for the size of the lot.
Right.
But in
Except
this
for 2
case,
bedrooms.
since they have 30,300 square feet with 3 bedrooms, we would allow a 4th bedroom.
Correct.
So the point of contention is, are they penalized for having cheated, already have the 4th bedroom? But.
We've done this in the past, you know.
Yeah, but that, yeah.
The only way to correct the wrong is to make them put the IA system in and upgrade the system as they are. The only
And
other
then we have to
option,
deal with the sitting room. And they would have to.
I would say
They
yes.
would have to make engineering changes in the house such that that sitting room cannot be used as a bedroom.
right. And that was the way the
Basically
house was
require
approved
Moving the
originally.
pocket doors and making sure the cased openings at least 6 feet.
6 feet, yeah.
Yeah. I would say that would be added as a
And then what
condition.
about the short-term rental restriction?
I guess the short-term rental restriction only applies to adding a 3rd bedroom to a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah, that's the question.
Anything requiring more than 3 bedrooms is across the board impossible because our rules don't allow it.
Right.
So if you had 4 bedrooms, you can't have a 5th, even if you put in IA technology. If you have 5 bedrooms, you can't put in a 6th. And so the whole short-term rental clause only applies to 2 bedrooms going to 3 bedrooms on a lot.
As it states it in the regulations, correct.
Yeah.
Not to say you could not add that as a condition, but I think you should be consistent with that. So if it's something you're going to start doing, we should discuss it and formalize it in some way.
We have
Or
been,
make it a policy.
there are examples recently where we have added a bedroom with IA to a house that already has more than 2, you know, and we haven't put the short-term rental in, is that correct?
Well, we did on the one last week that we had originally denied and then came back to us.
That was a 2-bedroom.
That was a 2-bedroom, yeah.
But have we done one? We've already set the precedent for that 3 or 4.
We have, yeah.
I think so. But to me, it's not quite clear the way it's written. There's a sentence that says, "All such variances granted may require conditions having to do with short-term rentals." And what all such variances, what it refers back to isn't quite clear. But I think the intent was we added it to the
2
2 bedrooms when we're adding the.
Why don't we write something
We're a
that's
little more-
crystal
We were a
clear?
little more restrictive with that because it was sort of, we were, backing from our original, so.
Well, I guess it's clear now that if a house has more than 2 bedrooms today, unless they have a lot large enough, meaning at least 30,000 square feet, they can't, if they have 3 bedrooms today, unless they have at least 40,000 square feet, they can't get a 4th bedroom under any conditions. So that's clear. And if they have a 4-bedroom, they
That's the
can't get a
control,
5th unless they have 50,000 square feet.
Right.
And
That's
So
the
the only
control.
time we need the short-term rental clause is for people who want to go to 3 bedrooms on less than 30,000 square feet. We allow them to do that if they agree to no short-term rentals.
Right, because that was kind of the argument that families can't,
Right.
you know, afford to get a 3-bedroom house. This allows people that are already in a 2-bedroom, growing families can add a 3rd,
They
and,
get what they want with a restriction.
right.
Let me ask you, Judy, in the basement, there's the 4th bedroom, and then there's the room to the right of it.
That's the
And-
You
bed.
have to walk through, I believe you walk through that room to
So
get
is
to the
there,
bedroom.
there's only one entrance to that, the bedroom is the right room,
Yep,
and the left room is a walk-through.
Yes,
So there's no door that goes directly into that room to the right?
The room on the
Other-
right
Other than
is the,
bedroom.
The bedroom,
That's the bedroom.
the room on the
I
left.
mean, it really is the opposite in the whole,
But is
because,
one room a pass-through by the way the doors are constructed?
right, that's my
The
understanding,
room that says family room, you can't get into that room.
without walking through the other one.
Oh, you
So it's
can't?
really just
Without
considered,
Oh, isn't that a door on the wall, the left, going out to the patio?
yes.
There's a door there.
That's why I called that the fourth bedroom. You have to walk through the other room to get to that. It says family room, but I would call that the fourth bedroom.
Right.
And the one
Not
that says bedroom would be called the family room.
Right.
Because you can't,
the-
that can't be a bedroom, because you can't get into it without going.
But it looks like there's a
a
glass
door.
slide.
No, the one that says
The only-
bedroom,
From the inside of the house.
See that? I never got that.
Right here. That's a door.
No, I don't think
Going
so.
out to a patio area.
I've looked at it.
That says family room.
Yes, the
bedroom,
bedroom.
Kitchen, bathroom. That's an apartment,
It's an apartment, right.
all right? It's shut off from the rest of the basement.
And it meets all the other requirements with sunlight and,
It's got sliders all along the left, on the left side
Okay.
onto the
all
deck.
right.
this is very confusing, because if you look at the room on the right that says bedroom, it looks like there's a closet
There is a closet.
at the top. At the top, with like a sliding door, but then there's a door from that into the basement.
When I looked at this online, you could see it was just one entryway, because that little wet bar area is closed off. I'm not sure if the owner of the house is on the call.
Right here.
That's the bathroom?
Yeah, my question is whether the room on the right, whether there's a separate entrance to that room besides the entrance through the room on the left. And it looks like at the top there might be. And then there's
What does that say?
a door, there's two doors at the top.
It looks like a closet.
I didn't say that very well.
The way I interpret this is you have to walk through the room on the right to get to the room that's called the family room.
Right.
How do you get in
So
the, how do you
is-
get
is
in the
there-
bedroom?
Through the door on the back side of it.
You walk into a closet?
No. This is really a one-bedroom apartment.
This is a one-bedroom
And
apartment.
the entrance to the
is.
apartment
Yeah,
is
no
from the
doubt.
patio.
It definitely
You
is a
go into the
one-bedroom
living
apartment.
room, which says family room.
Right.
And then you go into the bedroom from the family room. So
When
the
it said
family
it's-
room is not a bedroom, it's the way it's the living room of this apartment,
And the entrance to the apartment is from the deck.
is from the deck.
From
The
here,
steps
right.
that come down, yeah. And it looks like you probably can access the bedroom from the cellar, you know, where the heating equipment and everything is.
Right.
But that's not the way you would normally get
But
in.
it looks like there's a closet
Looks like,
there.
it looks
Yeah,
like,
it looks like it's probably sliding doors and then maybe
Could have like
an
a washer and
emergen-
dryer in there or something.
A way just to pass through to get into
Right.
the cellar. But basically, it's a one-bedroom apartment that you enter through the sliding doors from patio into a living room that has a little kitchen and a bathroom, and then the bedroom is to the right.
looks like a perfect rental.
Yeah, that's what it is, it's a rental.
Okay, so we've got a 30,000 square foot lot. That's
Or it's a
supposed to be
mother-in-law
for
apartment.
3 bedrooms. It's going to 4 bedrooms with the addition of IA technology. And then the sitting room would have to, the doors would need to be removed, and the archway would need to be 6 feet by our current rules, so that's not declared a bedroom.
Right.
And I think that covers it pretty much, right?
Jeez.
Is there other input from, any other questions from the board? Any input from the online or from the audience? And then I'd ask Mr.,
I think there might be, I don't know if Pam, Huffnagel wanted to say something? You'd have to unmute yourself, Pam. Her hand's
I
raised.
think I just did. Did I do that
There you
correctly?
go. You're good.
Yeah, so I did join late, so I apologize for that. And I think I understood, I'm a neighbor that I abut, this residence. And I had talked to Judy for a bit. I don't really understand all the rules. But I just said, you know, I certainly didn't want to prevent Diane from, you know, going forward with this. I was just concerned because I understand this is going to be a full-time rental. And two rentals, frankly, because if we approve the fourth bedroom, that will be two different rentals. One, you know, in that apartment that you were just talking about, and then one in the main part of the house. And I just wanted to make sure that that was, you know, I guess, allowable, you know, given the amount of people and the resource that it will be used, you know, in the house. It's no longer going to be residential, I guess, as I understand it.
So if it's a short-term rental, it has to register with us. And, you know, we allow that, so. I can say that as far as the basement apartment goes, it's not going to be allowed to have any cooking facilities because it's not a legal, it's not an apartment, it's not a ADU or anything like that.
How do we insist that that's the case?
Well, I can check with the building department. I did mention that they should apply for an after-the-fact permit, building permit. So
Yeah.
they would.
That's a requirement, but
and
that's
they
in the
would-
conditions.
And they would make sure that there is no, at least when they leave there's no cooking facilities in the unit. We will have it listed if they, which they must register it with us, and we can do an inspection as well.
Well, does that apply for the whole kitchen setup? I mean, could you have a refrigerator
Yeah.
and
They can have a,
microwave
yeah,
and
they
all
can
that?
have a wet bar, they can have, yeah, it's essentially a hotel room, you know,
Okay.
so they can do that.
But as I understand it, I mean, the bedroom in the basement is pre-existing, not legal, they never had a permit, but they haven't made any changes with this transfer. That's staying the same.
That's my understanding.
That hot plate will sneak right in there.
Right, so the area that says wet bar, it looks like they've got a sink there. They may have a refrigerator there, but
probably a sink and a
They cannot
refrigerator.
have a gas stove or an electric
No.
stove. But they could have a microwave.
You got counter space.
All right.
I mean, it's not
Well, I think it's not ideal, but I guess, with the understanding that the board, that the building department can impose whatever penalties they want for the fact that this had been done illegally. If we want, we can make a motion that this be approved with the stipulation that the pocket doors be removed and the sitting room have at least a 6-foot cased opening, and that it cannot be used as a bedroom. And since this would then be 4 bedrooms, the entire residence would be limited to a maximum of 10 people, including children, if it is rented,
Correct.
It's a short-term rental, yeah.
For the whole house.
for the whole house.
And the first condition that Judy has here, she'll read them in a second. The applicant shall apply, not may, but shall apply for an after-the-fact building permit for the space in the basement, and then the building department will examine that.
Yes.
Should we add a statement, and the basement space shall not provide cooking? I mean, I don't know how to word that,
Will
but,
that be, is that under the building
I
department?
can add that under the
edit.
building permit, no cooking facilities allowed in
right.
basement apartment or
Right.
something per building department.
But that's his call, not our call?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And instead of shall, why not will apply? They have to apply.
Well, I think
That's what
shall is
shall
our
means.
term that must. I think that
Shall
means
means
you
must, yeah.
It,
Yeah, it's shall
Yeah.
or may,
Right.
the
It's
words,
definitive.
shall means you must.
Then just say
unclear. What is
must.
the rule, what is the rule that prevents a person from having an apartment in the basement of the house and
It's
having
zoning.
a full zoning?
Zoning, yeah.
Okay,
It would have to be approved as an ADU.
all right.
And then, yeah,
Well, if it was an ADU, then they can put in a stove.
but they can't rent it as short-term rental, I don't think, as an ADU.
No,
No.
it has to
Can
be
we alert the building
year-round.
department that this is, that they should look at
Yes,
this
yes,
carefully?
they'll get a copy of this, and I'll speak to
All
the
right.
building commissioner.
Okay, so
I think they've already been alerted on this one.
Dick made the motion.
That we approve this with the stipulation that the room labeled as sitting room on the first floor be re-engineered with the removal of the pocket doors and the cased opening be at least 6 feet so that this room cannot be used as a bedroom.
And I can, do you want me to list the rest of the?
Yeah, read
So as far as the IA system goes,
the conditions.
the applicant shall apply for an after-the-fact building permit for the space in the basement. The applicant should restrict this property to a maximum of 4 bedrooms and record the restriction at the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. The applicant shall sign a covenant with the board agreeing to comply at such time as the town of Chatham, through its Board of Health and/or Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners, directs the connection of this property to the municipal sewer when it becomes available. The covenant and 4-bedroom deed restriction shall be recorded at the Barnstable Registry of Deeds. Throughout its life, the system shall be under an operation and maintenance agreement. The O&M agreement shall be at least for 1 year and may be with any mass-certified operator of the appropriate grade that has received training by the company on the operation of the system. Effluent from the system shall be monitored at least twice per year for the first 2 years, preferably May and October. The effluent shall be tested in accordance with Mass DEP standards for secondary treatment units certified for general use, revised March 20th, 2015. In addition, a lab test of the effluent for total nitrogen to meet the performance standards of 19 milligrams per liter shall be collected and analyzed by a certified lab. Water meter readings are to be provided with the semi-annual report. If any of the field tests or lab tests fail, follow-up tests shall be conducted by a certified lab and evaluation made by the operator within 30 days. After the required 2 years of testing, the application can be made to the board or its agent for review and possible modification of the monitoring requirements. The applicant agrees to apply to a minimum of 6 inches of compact topsoil to all disturbed areas. The engineer shall submit an engineered as-built plan, including as-built elevations with written certification that the system has been installed in accordance with the approved plan. No alteration of the floor plan of the dwelling will be allowed without further review by the Board of Health or its agent. This is granted pursuant to the Town of Chatham's subsurface sewage regulations and nitrogen loading regulation, and is valid from 1 year from the date of the Board of Health approval. Permit shall be issued and work commenced during that 1-year period, or the variance shall expire.
Did we get a second for the motion?
I'll give a second.
Okay, and then, any more discussion? The woman online, did you have a follow-up question about, I don't have your name in front of me.
Woman,
Yeah.
That's okay. I did have one question. You mentioned a limit of 10 people. Will there be a limit for each unit separately? So for the basement unit, is there a certain amount of people that can go in the basement versus up in the house?
It's a good question.
The way the short-term rental regulation reads is the property is allowed to have 2 occupants per bedroom plus 2, and that includes children. So this property would be allowed 10 people, and they can divvy them up any way they want. I would assume they just make one application,
Yeah, this is just
short-term rental.
one.
for the
Yeah, if they
entire
did it as
property,
one
even though
application.
they're renting it as 2 units.
But my understanding is it's it's just 4 bedrooms, it's one unit, one application.
But they would be advertising it
there's a-
separately as
could.
2 units.
Well, that's,
It depends on how they do it. We'll have to look at that. If they do it as 2 units, then we may have to restrict the entire property to 10, and they can split it up however they want, but they'd still need 2 separate applications. So it's just kind of an interesting one we'll have to look at and figure out.
It looks like they're gonna rent
But
the
I would say no
apartment
more than
separate.
10 on the property, and we could actually say that right in our order letter, too, if we wanted me to add that.
I would.
Total for the whole
add it.
property,
Right,
limit to 10?
right.
Yeah, I think so.
4-bedroom deed
That's the intent
restriction.
of what we
with-
did.
Yep.
total 10
And then I would say for,
Including children of all ages.
for short-term rental.
so, is it Kim? Sorry.
Pam.
Kim, yeah, so there's the short-term rental regulation that went into effect last July. It's a work in progress, so it's coming, it's building up, but there's a whole set of rules there, parking, people, notification, and there's a system through the Board of Health to take complaints and to monitor it. So I would say as an abutter, check out the short-term rental regulation for the town of Chatham, and the Health Department can triage your call if there's a question or complaint at any time about what's going on there. That's the intent of our
Very good,
regulation.
thank you.
Yep, okay. Any other comments? We ready to take a vote? Okay, I think we can do a voice vote for the variance for 88 Fox Hill Road with Judy's conditions and the changes to the sitting room. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
I pass.
One abstention. Okay, so that variance is granted, Mr. Mason.
We're done.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay.
So Judy, can you provide an update on where we stand with the implementation of the short-term rental regulations?
Just right
Yeah, that's our first topic. Follow-up on the short-term rental regulation. The town's been in the process of hiring somebody, going back to July. It's a long process, this and that. But Judy has an announcement. It's already been made public, actually, but about
Yes.
a new patient being hired, who will be a full-time inspector, who basically will be monitoring and running this short-term rental regulation. So this is a big step forward. But Judy,
So we hired someone, and she started last week. Jill put this out. It says that she's excited to announce that she's appointed Karen Chimwaza as Chatham's first housing inspector in the Health Division. She started April 29th, which was last Monday, so she's completed her first week. Karen comes to the team at Chatham from the town of Eastham, where she served as Health Department Administrative Assistant for the past 7 years. During that time, she was responsible for the administration of their rental registration program, in addition to providing administrative support to the health agent and Director of Health and Environment in the Board of Health. So she started a week ago. She's been fantastic already, has dove right in. She's started approving registrations and looking at properties that we have questions on, doing file reviews. So we're well, we're on our way, we're getting people in the system, and we're going to continue to promote the program as we go along.
I've got a question. Why was she put administratively under the director of your division rather than you?
Well, she's under, I'm her direct supervisor.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay,
then-
because when I read something, I thought it was
it-
Dr. Duncanson's old.
so it's no different than Lucas.
Yeah, right. It's the same as, it's a,
Functionally, she'll be under you.
right.
day to
I'm her
day.
direct supervisor. Greg is my direct supervisor.
Okay.
He's the head of the whole
Good.
department.
That's what I was hoping would be.
But the key is this person has worked in the town of Eastham that has a short-term rental regulation.
Yes.
She's already been doing this sort of.
Hitting the ground running a
So
little
she
bit.
brings
Yeah.
something in.
She really has,
That's a big
so,
step forward.
yep, she really has.
And
so.
these are regulations, I know the answer to this, I just wanted to hear myself say it. They take effect this summer.
They're in effect, yes.
They're in effect this summer.
This summer's regulations went into effect March 1st.
March, okay.
Now, there's been a lag because of the personnel problem, so the registrations are catching up.
What's the,
This summer will be in transition, but, I want to make the point that there's no less effort to get this short-term rental regulation rolling.
Yes.
And this.
and we're going to have a big backlog of submitted applications to work our way through.
We have a
initially.
backlog. We have a backlog. She's been picking away at them. Like I said, some of them are ones that we've had issues with, or we have notes in complaint files that we've been collecting for the last year. So we're looking through those. We're contacting owners of properties. We're looking at listings online, which are proving to be very interesting and helpful. as you can imagine. So she's working away, you know, she's probably approving 25, 30 a day on a good day. So.
Nice.
Do you find an application and you find old problems and decide that you need to inspect it right now? Most inspections are gonna come later if they come, but do you decide that some need?
At this point, I mean, we can, but right now, we're just contacting the homeowner and seeing what they, you know, how they want to remedy it. And if we need to go out, we will.
Do you have an idea how many applications have been submitted?
We were well over 500. That's low, because I think there's probably 1,200 or 1,500.
And that's based upon the state database, suggesting that at the end of the day, we may be around 1,000 or 1,200.
Right. So I'm hoping that once we kind of get caught up with what's come in, we can start doing some outreach. And there's a few companies that we know are not doing what we'd like them to do.
I remember we've spoken in the past about a plan to advertise or market the existence of the new regulations.
Right.
So that people in Chatham, homeowners and others, over time will get an appreciation and an understanding that in fact, in our town, we do have these regulations and what they require. So have we put out strategically any press accounts or leaflet or direct mail or?
No, we have not done
including
that.
anything with like tax bills or anything?
That's what I'm hoping we'll get to start doing, you know, once we get a little bit caught up.
Okay.
But we have put it on the town's social media that the program is up and running.
Is it featured on our health department website? The special little.
There is a link to it. Karen is going to build a page so that there's just a set page for this. So that will, I think, will help a lot because it'll give a lot of information and links to where they can get more information and, but we haven't gotten to that yet. So hopefully that's going to happen sooner rather than later.
But we are getting, as we receive the applications, the funding is coming in
Oh, yeah.
online.
Diane takes them the money, so most of it's all credit cards, so.
Dick, do you have a
So we have companies in Chatham that are managing multiple short-term rentals, like Pine Acre and Del Mar. Are the registration applications for those properties coming in from the management company or coming in from the owners? So like if you go to the Del Mar website, they have 30 properties approximately in Chatham.
My understanding is that Del Mar is leaving it up to their owners, so we do have some issues with their property.
So if I go to the Del
Pine
Mar
Acres, I think, is doing
website
it for them.
and I see a property on Meadowbrook Road, well, they own that one, but if I see a property that's or that has a little sign out in front of it, Del Mar, and we look and we see that there is no registration for that property, then we need to find out the owner of that property and approach them. Del Mar is washing their hands of that.
But how does Del Mar set the costs and enter into the contract
They don't
with the owners if they're not,
registered.
well, if they're not on the same page? In other words, so we assume that Del Mar knows the regulations, and when they have a new owner come forward, Del Mar is setting up that contract with them, because they pay the homeowner a set price.
I
for the
don't
season.
know what they're doing.
the homeowner is the person that's really responsible to
Right.
register the rental.
Yeah.
Right.
Because their name goes on it. There is a line, do you have a professional
Okay.
management company? And that line goes there somewhere.
That would be
And that
Del
could be
Mar.
I think that could be the contact person, but the responsibility for the
A
registration.
lot of them are on different, like, weneedavacation.com, that's a private, I mean, that's no agent,
That's the homeowner doing.
So there's things like that,
bad,
too. It's all over the place, so we're figuring it out as we go along.
I think the state has, there was 12, I think the number was 1,200 that had registered, short-term rentals, that had registered with the state to pay the tax they're supposed to pay to the state. We assumed there would be more rentals than that in Chatham that we would capture with this new regulation. But
It's gonna take a little.
do you have available to this new person the list of the people who have registered with the state so she can cross-reference with who's applied and who is paying state taxes and whether everyone is,
Well, everybody's required to give us their state number, their registration
does
number.
she have can she use the list
She
from the
can,
state?
yeah.
And then see if
Yeah.
some of those on the list haven't registered? Because that would be an easy.
The state has given us a list of the names and
Well, they have, and
addresses
there was some-
of the people who are paying the state tax.
There's a database.
So we need to cross-match that with the,
There's some
yeah.
confusion about that, but that database can be used,
Okay.
correct?
Don't give us the exact addresses, I don't think. I have to
think
look
they
at the
do.
list
I think
again.
they do.
Yeah.
But I think,
but-
well, you can check on that, because I think the answer is yes.
They give the owner's name.
They give whatever name it's registered under. Sometimes it's an LLC or, I have to look at it again.
But we should have an application
The
for a
assessor's
short-term rental
database, you should be
certificate
able to-
from that.
Yeah, and I
Person
I have it
or
another-
company.
somewhere else,
We
but
can- I
I
mean,
think
if
the
we
address is
don't, it's
on
a
that
problem.
list. I think it is.
Right.
Yeah.
We can check. Judy can check with the new person.
Yeah, there was,
So we have to
was an issue with
cross-check to make
Yeah,
sure
there
that.
was an issue about whether that was public or private or whatever, but she could even contact the state and tell what we're doing and see if she can get the information, because it would be, as Dick said, good information,
yeah, they'll release it to us.
but not to the public. Maybe
Right,
that was.
not to the public.
Maybe that was what
Right.
it was, but. it
But
would be-
everybody on that list should be filing an application and paying the fee. And if they're not, then we need to figure out some way to enforce it, and,
Yeah.
Well,
know,
that's,
just,
that's the goal. We just haven't,
Yeah.
we just started, so.
I know.
It's only been a week. We're trying to
Right.
get everybody who's following the rules, their certificates as we get going, and questioning ones that we have issues with, and keeping a list of problem properties, so moving
So
forward,
we'll get
have
better
some
at
data.
this as we go,
yes,
little by little.
yeah.
Other comments on this? Okay, and then, old new business. The other thing is, Mill Hill, situation. There's new information, there's new things happening significantly. So it's going to be an agenda item at our next meeting, which will probably be a fairly major discussion, and we'll handle all that then. Other old and new business, or Judy?
on the agenda.
Huh?
Yeah, no, I don't
It'll be on the
There
agenda
have
for the next meeting.
There have been additional sightings.
Yeah, well, what we'll do is we'll have that discussion when it's an agenda item.
Okay.
Because it's a big topic.
Okay.
Other old, new business? Okay, Judy?
I do, I'm sorry, I forgot my list. I talked to Noble, we're doing a community health needs assessment with our public health excellence grant money. I'm doing it with Orleans, Brewster, Harwich, Chatham, so it's just kind of a lower, mid-lower Cape. We felt we needed a little bit of information to see, moving forward, how to use the money, which is a significant amount that we're going to have every year that we can put into projects. We wanted to see what the needs were. I think we kind of know, but it's good to have a professional. We've hired a company to do this needs assessment. So one of the things that they want to do is do a roundtable, a focus group, I guess is the term. And I thought and they're limited space. We're trying to get this done by the end of the summer. So what I asked Noble was if it'd be okay if at our June 6th meeting, we could use the Board of Health as the basis for the roundtable. I'm going to invite people from the community as well. There'll be a facilitator from Crescendo, and she'll just ask questions. Should be.
You could market, you could advertise, you can
It'll be,
publicize the.
it'll be a public meeting. It'll be obviously on Teams and live on Chatham TV. And I'm hoping to get the public and some of the major players in town to come to the focus group. It really only needs 15 to 20 people.
And which towns is it again?
Well, this would just be for Chatham.
Just for Chatham.
This would-
And the money comes. just for
Right,
Chatham.
all the towns are gonna do their own focus groups. We provided a list of interviewees that they're gonna interview, including the police chief, the fire chief, the housing authority, our new recovery coach, people like that, the school nurses,
School officials.
things like that.
And where does the money come from, and how much is it?
The money is coming from the state. It's our Public Health Excellence Grant. And we have, each town had, after we pay for our director and other things that we're doing with the money, we ended up with, I don't know, $7,000 or $8,000 each town extra. So, you know, we're purchasing stuff this year, and we're paying for this needs assessment. And we've bought, you know, inspectional supplies for, we've hired inspectors that can work across all towns. There's training involved. So it's a really great program. I think we did a presentation on it before, and you saw the MOU back in the winter.
Judy, is there a standardized statistical community health profile document that lists the, for each of the communities, certain aggregate, like death
The
rates?
census data. They'll use the information that's available, the census data. They'll probably also look at other community health assessments that were done. I know the county did one. They've done them in the past, and
I mean, do we have?
Council on Aging did one a few years ago. Actually, it's like 4 or 5 years ago now, maybe 8. So these things haven't been updated. But yes, there's information out there that's going to be part of what they put together, the kind of the census data, you know, age, occupation.
Talking about
English-
things like isolation and depression and infant mortality rate, cancer death rates, I mean.
They'll look at
maybe-
that. That's all, most of that's available, well, I don't know about isolation, but, you know, cancer death rates and all of that is available through the Department of Public Health. These are the things that we want to get at the focus group. So, you know, they're going to talk to people from the Council on Aging and the Center for Active Living and see what their concerns are, what the needs are.
I'm struck, I read something recently about the former Surgeon General, Murtha, what was his?
Yeah, Mirtha, yeah.
And he is activating or recommending that there be a lot more focus as a public health issue
For isolation.
on isolation.
Yeah, as a matter of the Center for Active Living got a grant this year, and they put together a group of citizens that are at risk of isolation, and they have monthly or, you know,
And it's a
bi-monthly
growing issue,
luncheons and talks, and they get them out. And
particularly for seniors that
Yep.
just are not.
it's definitely an issue, and
They're
there's
not thriving.
grant money available. So if that seems to be something that, you know, rises to the surface in Chatham, certainly something we can put money towards in the future. So.
Okay.
So, you know, I just want to ask the public to, you know, keep listening. We're going to do it on June 6th. We really want, you know, active participants. They can call in. They don't have to come to the meeting, although we'd welcome them here. So there'll be more information put out there in the next
You
week or
have our
two.
next meeting, the one in June, June 3rd.
Is it June 3rd?
Yeah, you're not,
Okay, yeah, I'm giving the wrong date. It's
Okay.
June 3rd. It's
Okay.
June 3rd at 4.
yeah.
I don't know why I had June 6th in my head, but June 3rd, yes.
Okay, Ron, did you have a question?
Are they going to also deal with drugs?
That'll certainly be, yeah, especially with the opioid. And we also have opioid funds, so this will be a good way for us to look at ways to use that moving forward, especially on a regional basis. So,
Thank you.
Okay, good, great. Other old business, new business? Anything from the public? All right, then we have minutes from April 22nd meeting. I have one change on the second page. The last paragraph there says, Noble Hanson suggested that they submit an agreement that seller will be responsible, but I think it should be that buyer will be responsible for sewer connection, because we were granting a variance to let the transaction go through, and then the buyer, and we made a point of making sure that the buyer was notified in writing. Okay, that's mine. Anything else? And can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
And we can take a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say no. Okay, those minutes are approved. And then we can get a motion to
Adjourn. So move.
Second, okay.
And a voice vote, all in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Say, or anyone opposed? No, okay. With that, we are adjourned. So we'll look for that on air light.